Hi guys and women. Today's Friday. It's a bit warmer day outside, but we're still waiting for some real sunshine. It looks like a decent weekend coming up. Today I want to talk about our clinical trials. You can go on our site and you can see the link to clinical trials, but reading through them, it might not be the simplest reading, so I'll briefly explain what the clinical trials are about and that you might use your knowledge of them to inform you about whether Xialla is right for you. Our clinical trials were done by Dr. Anthony Bella. Dr. Anthony Bella is a urological researcher and surgeon, one of the top researchers and surgeons in the world in urology. He's performed over 5,500 radical prostatectomies, so that's a removal of the prostate. And he specialized for many years in helping guys after prostatectomy to regain as much sexual function as possible. He's become a world leader in that, and he has an incredible, fan base of guys. I've seen his liquor cabinet. He's got so many bottles of scotch he doesn't know what to do with them, from guys who have been thankful and wanted to try to thank him. Great guy. You can find him on ratemeds.com, where a lot of doctors are rated, and he's the number one urologist in the area. He happens to be in Ottawa, but he also has Ottawa, Canada, but he also is licensed in the US, so he's licensed in California and Ottawa. So the clinical trials, we actually did 3 clinical trials briefly. The first one was about improvement of sexual function in guys who had normal erectile dysfunction sort of levels. So guys who had trouble, getting hard and staying hard. And in that clinical trial, we were able to help 66%, so 2/3 of guys achieve a much higher level of sexual satisfaction. In real life, we're actually finding it's about 75%. So that's sort of the number. So that doesn't say that Xialla is going to work for everyone, of course. It says that Xialla will work for a lot of guys, and that's why we offer a money-back guarantee. If Xialla doesn't work for you, we're happy to refund your money. We always want to make sure that you know that Xialla is risk-free to try. The second clinical trial that we did was for guys who had gone through the whole conventional erectile dysfunction therapy as prescribed by the Canadian Urology Association and the American Urology Association. So the sort of standard erectile dysfunction therapy, there's a number of steps in it, and it's well laid out in documents called the Guidelines for the Treatment of Erectile Dysfunction, and those are published and updated every few years by the Canadian Urology Association and the American Urology Association working together. And it just so happens that our Dr. Anthony Bella chaired the committee that wrote the last guidelines. So he's one of the world authorities on the standard procedure for erectile dysfunction. So as a lot of you might know, the standard sort of protocol for ED treatment starts with assessment, and then after assessment, the first line of treatment is drugs, of course, and oral medication. So Levitra, Cialis, Viagra, and so on. And if those are not strong enough or effective enough, or they wear off over time, then you'll go to potentially injection medications, so Caverject and the likes, where there's an injection in the penis to stimulate the erection before sex. And if those fail, then it's possible there's a blood outflow problem. So a vacuum pump is often prescribed, and the vacuum pump draws blood into the penis, and then there's a ring that seals the blood from leaking out at the base of the penis. The ring is not as effective as it could be, and that's where Xialla can come in and really help to solve that problem. So if men fail all those treatments in the standard protocol, then they are kind of deemed to be out of luck. They're called failed treatment, and the second clinical trial we did was with Dr. Bella taking his patients who had failed all the protocol treatments and trying to get them back to normal sex using either Xialla or Xialla and a combination of some other therapy. So perhaps Xialla with a smaller amount of oral medication, or Xialla with injections in some cases. And in that case, we were able to get 55% of men who had failed all other treatments get 55% of men back to having normal sex. So that was a huge accomplishment and was really unexpected. Dr. Bella did not expect that level of success. So what does that mean? It means that if you're failing other treatments, you're not out of hope. It means that you may have a blood outflow problem where the blood is getting into the penis, but it's also flowing out. We call this sort of like the leaky tire, or if a pump up a tire and it has a leaky valve, then the tire will go flat no matter how many times you pump it up. And if you're having trouble with the pumps, sort of sealing the blood in, then the rings that come with the pumps tend to move, as we explain on our website. So by holding the ring in place, the Xialla is able to more effectively seal off that blood outflow, and that's the key to Viagra. One of the keys to Viagra really being effective in terms of treating erectile dysfunction that's otherwise untreatable. So in summary, and then the third clinical trial was actually about something other than erectile dysfunction. We did a clinical trial to test for climacturia, whether Xialla might help with climacturia. Climacturia is involuntary urination during orgasm. So for guys that have lost some ability to control their urine stream, and it's fairly common issue that a guy will urinate a little bit or sometimes a lot during orgasm. So, and it turns out that Xialla can actually help with that as well. But our main thing is ED. So back to the erectile dysfunction side of the coin. So in summary, we've shown with clinical proof published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine that you can read on our website that Xialla is quite effective in helping guys who have moderate ED to treat that ED and get back to having a higher level of sexual enjoyment, sexual satisfaction, and sexual performance, number one. And number two, we've also shown that Xialla is a useful tool in the arsenal for treating erectile dysfunction in the case of guys who have kind of run out of options. So, an ED can be treated either with Xialla alone or with Xialla in combination with other therapies. And we like to emphasize that. So we're kind of a friendly player with other therapies. Xialla we don't say we compete with Viagra. We're not better than Viagra. We have a place and Viagra has a place, and Cialis and Levitra injections, everything has a place in the treatment protocol. And in more severe cases, the combination of Viagra and Xialla, or injections in Xialla, is a very powerful combination for helping guys who have failed other treatment protocols. So I hope that explains things a little bit. If you have any questions, reach out to me, call me. The number's below the videos, and I'm always available. And I love talking to customers, so happy to answer your questions and sort of explain that. If there's any confusion, I'll be happy to clarify it. Well, great. So thanks a lot, guys. That's it for today. We've been outside for a walk already with the dog, and we plan on getting outside a lot this weekend. So I hope you guys do the same. Have a great weekend. And tomorrow, Saturday, I might post another video tomorrow morning. Yeah, have a good one. Bye.